job to support your family. That's not enough. You have to do more. What for is always at the back of my mind as I'm teaching kindergartners, ninth graders, 83-year-olds. What for is really the reason we're on this earth.
I remember a long time ago when I was a kid, we had a thing called the catechism, various questions and answers about what it was supposed to mean to be a Catholic, and the answer to this question was to know, love, and serve God in this world and to be happy with God in the next. That was the basic answer. It's not a bad answer. I've often thought about it over the many years that I've been able to be in ministry. To know, love, and serve God in this world. I think the fundamental answer for me, might call it the cosmic answer, the big answer for me, is that the most important relationship that I will ever have is with the Creator, is with God. And you know, this life is very ephemeral. It's very short. It's here today, gone tomorrow almost in the course of things. And so from a cosmic perspective, if you believe in life beyond death, it's to know the Creator. It's to know the Creator, to establish a relationship with the Creator, one that mirrors the love that the Creator has for us back to the Creator, but through how we relate to one another. And so serving the Creator, know, love, and serve God. Serving the Creator means to acknowledge the presence of the Creator in all of creation, and especially in the human element, and to look forward to that relationship continuing after life in some blessed way.
Huge decision.
Well, my brother Billy was asked that question when he was in 4th grade, because the teacher, the nun, knew that his older brother was studying to be a priest. So she said, "Why is your brother Michael studying to be a priest?" And Billy said, "He's too short to get married and too lazy to work." So Billy hasn't gotten any smarter since then. I was very fortunate growing up. I knew in the parishes that our family lived in St. Paul, in 2 particular parishes, I was really blessed to know three extraordinary priests. And the way the Catholic Church worked in those days, and still does in some ways, but if you were a boy, you got to assist the priest at Mass, what we call being an altar service. So you got to know them. I knew some extraordinary people. They're very human. They're very compassionate. They listened. They were there for you when you needed them. And they always, one in particular, always seemed to recognize the neediest person around and then listen to them, go to that person. I don't know, that just impressed the heck out of me.
I actually grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. I was the youngest of 3 girls. And my father was a cardiologist, and my mother was a stay-at-home mom. It was in the 60s and 70s. And there were no female rabbis it wasn't a reality when I was growing up. And when I went to Macalester College for college, it was the first time, it was in 1972, which was a very long time ago. First woman was ordained. And then subsequent years, there was 1 woman or 2 women in seminary. So one of the seminarians, who was a woman, came and spoke at Macalester College. And I'm going in and out.
You're going in and out, but it may not be your fault. So keep trying. I'm going to get Dennis to get you another mic back.
Okay, perfect. So what happened was that I saw this woman, and she was talking about being in seminary, and she was talking about being a rabbi, and it was the first female rabbi I'd ever met, and I went home and I said, I called my father because I was in St. Paul and he was in St. Louis, and I said, Dad, I met a female rabbinic student. And he goes, you don't want to do that. And that was the moment I decided, yeah, I think I do. Sounds perfect. If my father doesn't want me to do it, I'm going to do it. But it was a little bit more profound than that. But as the years went on, I studied Judaism, and I realized that that was really what I wanted to spend my time studying. It wasn't just about being a rabbi. I wanted to go to graduate school in loving the learning and loving the years in graduate school, because rabbinical school is 5 years post-undergrad. So we're not just talking about a 2-year program here. We're talking about 5 more years of your life in graduate school. And so I was as excited about the learning I would do in those 5 years as I was about what degree and what profession I could potentially have. And that is how I made my decision to become a rabbi. And I have to say that my father never totally understood how I got there. My sister's a physician. My oldest sister's a caterer at a hotel. He could understand that. He loved food. He was a gourmet cook. He was an incredible physician. He could understand my middle sister's decision. He never quite got how I became a rabbi until I became the senior rabbi of Temple Israel and was the first woman to be the senior rabbi of such a large congregation. Then he kind of came around a little bit, I guess. So it took a while. It took a question, a little something else, so I'm glad he answered it first. I heard sort of what we love about our tradition, not our position.
That was the question.
Yeah, so, you know, I love the Jewish people. I love the Jewish people. I do. They make me crazy half the time, try and work for Jews. It's not fun. But I love them
What do you mean
because
by that? Trying to work with Jews is not fun.
it's
Why?
demanding and incredibly wanting it their way. Not like the Catholics.
Yeah, right.
We're so caring and giving and loving. I love the Jewish people. I do. And as critical as I can be about my own people, I think there's a place in the world that we have and that we have to assert. You know, there are differences, and I love those differences, and I've learned a lot about the commonalities. But I love being a Jew. I love Jewish people. I love Judaism, and I respect all other traditions, but it's sort of where my home is.
One very quick follow-up. Your favorite Jewish
Joke.
food?
No. My favorite Jewish food
Yeah.
is matzo soup.
Michael, your favorite classic Catholic, possibly Irish, I'm just guessing, food?
Peanut butter jelly.
Crunchy or
That is because he is a single man. He can't make anything else.
white bread, whole wheat bread?
Grape jelly.
Grape jelly.
Jif peanut butter.
That is so... Really? Jiffy peanut butter? Is that what you put on the communion? What is that?
No, we don't have peanut butter in communion.
You don't?
All right.
What's your favorite holiday or celebration that's associated with your faith?
It's a real
That's a
question.
great question.
I'll tell you my favorite Catholic one. Is
Ten nut break.
Tenebrae.
Yeah. Well, it's
Good Friday. It's amazing, especially at the Basilica. It's unbelievable.
So then I tell you my favorite Jewish holiday.
Yeah, you...
Kol Nidre,
Yeah.
which I understand is the equivalent of Christmas Eve, from the point of view of how you feel about yourself and your family and your faith. Kol Nidre is the night before Yom Kippur. I almost always make it
It's
a...
the beginning of Yom
It's I go to that 4:15 or 4:30 service at Temple.
45.
4:45, and sit in the same place next to John Goodman in the back on the left. And
Plenty, or...
Huh?
They used to bring...
Boswich, probably.
No.
Well, anyway, what I feel there is a lot of it's in Hebrew. It's the music. The music is the equivalent of Christmas music from the point of view that it gets into your heart. And I don't even know the Hebrew. All I know is that people are feeling pretty passionate, you know, and you get to feel it with them.
Should probably explain what those...
What about the Catholic? Wait, we didn't tell her.
Right, like, or explain what those two things are, like, for those people that don't know what Good Friday is, and those people that, you know, explain what those are.
Well, Good Friday, that's a good question. Good Friday is the day that Christians believe that Jesus died. And it's a very somber, thank you, that's the right word. It's very somber and very thoughtful. And I think in powerful, and in the tradition of Christianity and as I know it, in the tradition of Catholic Christianity, you're really wondering, what is this about? You know, because there's all kinds of different theories about it. So what is it about? So you ponder that. You know, in some more traditional, conservative forms of Christianity say it's because God required that his son be sacrificed in order to appease, if you will, an angry God. It's a very ancient form of sacrificial belief. It's called atonement. You know, making at one. Somebody had to pay the price. So God's own son did. Going back to the Abraham story, Abraham and Isaac. That I left that about 40 years ago. You know, that if that is what it is, then I'm in the wrong religion. You know.
What's your favorite Catholic Christian?
My favorite Christian holiday is a brief little 4 weeks before Christmas. It's called Advent, and it's. I love it for it's mystical. There's something about November and December. It's that kind of time of low season. And it's all about waiting and expectation. And there's a word, Hebrew word, that's embedded in those 4 weeks that says everything to me about religion. The word is Emmanuel. We have a song we sing a lot, O come, Emmanuel. Emmanuel in Hebrew means God is with us. Not God was with us or God will be with us. God is, and I think that theology is, that's what speaks to my heart. No matter who I am, what I do, God is with us. So, what's your favorite?
So my favorite is Passover, Pesach, where you come together around the table. Thank you.
A little bit close, but yes.
Yeah. So Passover is my favorite because there's so much to it, but most of all that our family is around the table and that we have a religious service in the home, and you have to clean all your house from the weeks before, so there's a lot of preparation for it. So when you sit down at the table for the Seder, it's like you have really been preparing for it, and you're ready to sit and have this amazing service. And then around our table, we do a lot of Hebrew, we do a lot of singing, we do a lot of celebration, and my children join in as well. And then my husband's parents are survivors of the Holocaust. They both are deceased now. But they always told a story about surviving, because the idea at liberation is the story of Passover, and their story is of survival and liberation. So they and their friends who are very close and survived from the same town, not together, but survived from the same town, tell the story of getting their tattoos in the concentration camps, and how that became a day of great hope, where you don't think of these tattoos on survivors as a hopeful thing, you think of it as a sad thing. They explained that once they got the tattoos, they knew they weren't going to the crematoria, they weren't going to die, they were going to work, because they were going to be filed by the number. And even today at South High School, where my kids went to high school, they're all in college now, but a teacher there has a book that says, that can look up a number that's a tattooed number, and it tells the story of that individual. That's how crazy, but amazing on some level that the Germans were, the Nazis were, is that they kept such incredible detailed notes about everyone to keep control over them. But we have that today, so you can look up a number and you can say what experience, how the survivor got to Auschwitz, that the survivor was at Auschwitz. I mean, really unbelievable book. So,
Got a question down front, way over the left.
2 questions. 1, what's the favorite part of your religion? And 2, what's your favorite joke about your religion?
Joke?
Joke.
Great, love it. So many jokes, so many jokes. My favorite part of the religion is that it isn't just a religion. Judaism is an ancient tradition, so we're a peoplehood, we have a language, we have a land, the land of Israel, that we're not just a religion, and I love that, because it makes us a little bit of a square peg in a round hole in this country and in this culture, and I like being different. It's just who I am. So that's the part I love most about my tradition, and there are so many jokes, oh my goodness. Talk what you like, you know, I'm like going through so many, so let me land on one in just a minute, but you tell what you...
One of the most favorite parts of my Christian faith and my Catholic faith, it reminded me of, when you're talking about your dad, it reminded me of my father. He died in 1999. And, you know, he was not perfect by any means. And I think I mirror a lot of his weaknesses and things like that. So I spent a whole lot of my life trying to be okay with that, from the point of view that, you know, I'm the acorn that fell off that oak tree. So, you know, come to terms with it. And so there I am at his memorial mass, which we had at the Basilica. And I decided something that was very unusual. We have a thing called the Litany of the Saints. It's a mantra prayer that's sung, and you name all kinds of historically important people who were heroes and sheroes in the faith. You name them and you ask them to pray for you, because we believe that there is a life after death, and they're sort of beckoning us, okay? They're saying, come to us. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what, we're going to have this Litany of the Saints at my father's memorial mass. And the part that has always stuck with me since then is, I had to be clear that he was a saint. I had to be clear with that, you know, because there was a lot of stuff that didn't seem too saintly, see? And then I won't tell you how it was mirrored in me, but I had to reconcile that. And so all of that said to me, you know what, you're okay in God's eyes. You know, you're part of this community that you're going to, and let's celebrate that. So that whole idea of the communion of saints, and you know, we're part of it, and we're going there, and we're anything but perfect.
Okay, how about if I tell a joke about a priest, a minister, and a rabbi?
Okay.
All right. A priest, a minister, and a rabbi are on a show, a TV show, talking about when life begins. You might not find this funny, but I do, especially in the stage of life I am in right now with my children, God. So the priest says, you know, life begins at conception. There's just no question. That's what our tradition believes. The minister, Protestant minister, says, well, actually, we think about viability, and so life begins at second trimester when there's more viability, and so that's when we believe life begins. And the rabbi turns to the talk show host and says, we believe life begins when the kids move out and the dog dies. My dog is in chemotherapy right now, so we are keeping this dog alive for everyone to come home for the summer, and then we're going to probably have to let him go. But at 13 and a half, I'm waiting for life to begin.
I'm not going to answer the joke one.
All right, I would love to invite students to find priest, rabbi, minister, priest, rabbi, imam, priest, guru, rabbi jokes online and send them to me, and we will have a joke-a-thon later
That's
on.
good.
It's it's a great tradition. What's that?
It's
Oh yeah,
a great
totally.
tradition.
It'll be on the
Great.
document.
How about